The draft is underway now, and we can see the immediate ban by Spirit on Bristle. They did not enjoy his tempo, his frontlining, his damage, and his tankiness. So he's gone. Muerta?
I'm excited for the CK because I would say this is a really bad CK game. Like, they have a ton of burst. CK is actually, in my experience, bad against immediate burst. Because...
Okay, so he's a non-burst enjoyer because he lifesteals in a sustained way.
Also, it's because he wants to ulti with his illusions being full HP, right? And so if you can jump him first, it's like everything about CK is if he jumps you with ult and kills you instantly, or if you bring him down to like 20%, and even if he doesn't die, he can't ult. His illusions are useless, and then like the hero just spends the time running away. So
it's not so much burst. I mean, I guess you could call it burst, but it's like if he can quickly bring his health low, he no longer has a fight because he wants to ult and burst someone, and his illusions will die too quickly.
Yeah, his fights, in my opinion, are the exact same as Morph, is because like if you go on Morph, he might live because he's super tanky, but if he has to strength Morph, you know, 4,000 HP, he's not going to do anything afterwards.
Oh, so you actually want to start the fight. You want to start the fight on Morph too, even if he doesn't die.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same idea for CK. He's going to have 4,000 HP just because he buys strength items, but if he gets jumped first, his fight impact's like virtually zero. I feel like that's why when I play CK, I'm either like ultra killing everybody or like running.
Interesting, yeah. I mean, if I have a bad game of CK, I usually go Ags. I just try to create confusion and ratting because I'm no longer in a position where I'm like leading the troops, and the opposite is leading the troops, and like you said, you're not dying and you're killing everyone.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, CK, CK is one of those heroes that he really isn't meta very often.
Yeah.
So throughout my entire time playing Dota, which is like 10 years, I think I remember like TI 2 or 3, he was super broken, and then maybe like TI 7 or 8, he was picked a lot, and then like the rest of the time, I feel like this hero's like non-existent. And the last time he was meta, he was off lane. So it's like
that's true. When I started playing, he was off lane, recommended by chat anyway. Someone asked in chat at what minute CK should buy Midas. I would argue never.
Yeah, I'm more of an armlet enjoyer myself. I think it's like the most valuable armlet hero in the game, maybe other than Huskar.
Yeah, and he can kill people from the start of the game. Generally, when you can kill people from the start of the game, unlike Faceless and... Well, actually, PA can do it a bit, but let's say if you're not Faceless, you're someone like CK, part of your growth of gold and XP is through getting the occasional kill.
Agreed. I'll say that the only time I'd go Midas on CK is if I lost my lane.
Right.
And in my experience, I've probably had 40 CKs in my games in the last 2 weeks, and I've maybe seen one lose its lane. So if you're losing your lane on CK and buying a Midas, I think we should first address your laning mechanics, because this hero is like almost unlosable, I think, in lanes. So yeah, I would like to watch either Kurdic, the CK, or Collapse, because I want to see this lane. Like I'm under the impression CK can't lose lanes. But,
what's the first name you said?
I don't know how to pronounce his name, like Kuritic.
Oh, Kuritic. What's he playing?
He's playing the Chaos Knight. He's the carry for...
you want to see Chaos Knight or Centaur?
I said or the Dawn is what I
Dawn.
said.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I want to watch that lane specifically. But like, I'm pretty open to either of the two. I think Dawn's usually a pretty fun hero to watch, and we always love watching Collapse. So I'll choose Collapse because we're not going to miss fights if we're watching Dawnbreaker. So
okay, let's do that. I'm also interested in Muerta, but if I'm not mistaken, oh yeah, Dawn. Oh yeah, Dawn is on the same team. I can always watch the replay again later.
If you are heavily invested in watching Yatoro, I'm not going to object.
It's Yatoro Muerta 1, right?
Yes, it is.
It's pretty interesting. But
you do not have to convince me to watch Yatoro. He's my favorite player to watch, but we all, you know.
I feel very strongly about watching Dawn, Centaur, or Muerta, so I'm really fine with all. Let's go with the offlane so that we have a different perspective, a little bit more team fighting than last game. We leave you a pick, we go with Dawn.
Yeah, I'll go with Dawn. Cool. Yeah. Sounds good to me. That's interesting about Dawn is that She got nerfed so many times. I think what made her broken at the start was that soaring bug. I don't know if you were aware of that bug, but
what's that?
It was when 7.34 came out. Soaring didn't. So soaring gives you 100.
Oh yeah,
mana,
that was so easy.
Take it away.
I abused that too.
Yeah, and I think Dawn was like one of the most significant beneficiaries of that bug. So I think that her win rate being like 55% at the time was actually inflated by maybe 2% because of this bug. Like it was actually so broken on Dawn specifically. So it's just interesting how many times she's been nerfed, but she's still getting a bit of play at TI so far.
Sadly, you did not buy the compendium yet.
Oh shit! We're having a really nice discussion.
I can do it on my side for both of us. Players with highest total physical damage done to heroes at game end. Highest physical damage. That's gonna be Chaos Knight.
Yeah, I might have gotten it in time. Do I have to like reload the spectator match, or
maybe
are you still doing predictions?
Yeah, you've got 1 minute left.
Okay.
You can reload.
I'll reload it. Okay.
Number of ancient camps stacked by 30 minutes. They want it for TA. They could use it for Muerta and or Dawn. I'm gonna say 11, but I feel like it could be 6 to 10 as well. Let's go 6 to 10. I think they're gonna play the lanes more than the stacking. Smoke can kills by 10.
I went 11 to 15 on that one, but I think 6 to 10 is reasonable.
Yeah.
And who'd you go for number 1 physical damage?
Kiritich, the Chaos Knight.
Okay, so did I. I did as well, yes, okay.
Players with highest total magic or pure damage. Laurel or Toro?
Oh, yeah, that's a tough... I was going to say, obviously, the puck, but yeah, Morta does a ton of magical.
Could also be Invoker. Or Phoenix?
Yeah, this is a tough one. That's actually a tough one. I'm gonna go with Laurel.
Yeah.
He's got to step it up from game 1, but I think any of those 4 choices actually are all reasonable.
Yep, me too.
Smoking kills by minute 10. I'm gonna go 0.
0? Wow. All right.
I don't think there's gonna be any smokes. I think people are just gonna go.
I've got 3+. Let's see what happens. We're following Collapse from Team Spirit on the Dawnbreaker.
Battle begins.
Okay, so he's got the soaring phase boots queued up. I mean, my experience with CK so far is that the reason this hero's win rate is so high is because he just dumps on the offlaner like every single game. So I'm really curious to see like how Collapse gets out of the lane and just has impact. You're not even trying to win the lane, I think. You're just trying to make sure you don't have no impact because you got obliterated.
You're not winning the lane into Chaos, yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. The only hero I've seen beat Chaos Knight in lane is like an Underlord, and that hero's like not picked at all, so.
Yeah, I think Nounce... Did it Nounce by Underlord once?
They might have, but I will be honest, I did not see it, so.
Chaos Bolt on Dawn to confirm the range creep. Grimstroke has 3 last hit. Oh wait, it's a Sentry and an Ops. So Dawn is gonna, in your mind, Dawn is gonna mostly try to just safe farm, pull the lane back, not engage too hard on Chaos Knight, and then try to make a difference in other lanes.
Yeah, he might go.
Yikes.
They might go for a level 2 kill. Like they might do that just because Dawn usually has a really good timing there if they get level 2 before CK. But generally speaking, against safe laners like CK, Lifestealer, I call them lane grief. I call them off lane griefing carries. Like they're meant to.
Wait,
like part of their.
Who's an off lane griefing carry?
Lifestealer and CK are the 2 that come to mind. Same with Weaver.
They make the off lane have a hard time.
Yeah, like they're half of their impact in the early game is just ruining the offlaner because these heroes don't generally flash farm either.
Yeah.
Like in the super early game, but like if you're a strength offlaner against Lifesteal, you know, once he's level 4 or 5, he's just hitting you all the time. So you'd rather just not lane against him at all, and I think it's the same for CK. Look at what Collapse is doing. He's doing like this little let 2 creeps by, try to deny his range creep off. All of this stuff is like, I don't want to deal with this fucking CK, you know? Keeping the lane as close to my tower as possible. Getting that range creep deny is super impactful, but looks like the lane's still going to be pretty far up. It's interesting that... I wonder why VP kind of chilling. I feel like Phoenix CK is pretty scary, but I guess Dawn level 2 is scary as well, so...
Yeah, I like that half lane pull he did on himself. We do the same concept with camp pulls, but he did it with lane creeps.
Yeah, that was pretty high skill there. I feel like these little nuances are something I saw Ice 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 do first, with these like weird ways to deny your range creep. And I feel like ever since Ice 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 did it, this was maybe like 2 years ago, it's like everybody does it, and there's like so many different ways to do it now. This is the Lotus Orb, or Lotus Flower contest. That's why both these guys are posturing.
The stun to guarantee it.
Now CK's stunning the other.
Oh, CK
so
got
awkward.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last person I thought that was gonna get it based on how that fight was going.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, the Sunstrike.
In fact, yeah, nice Sunstrike. In fact, the Dawn didn't even start the channel because he knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, he didn't even try. He was trying to potentially zone the Phoenix or get the kill with the Grimstroke.
Yes, exactly.
He didn't even think it was realistic for him to pick up the
flower. I personally do not love the early magic wand on Dawn. I don't see the point. Chaos doesn't spam spells, and Phoenix casts fire spirits out of range.
My experience with wand versus soaring is that wand is a poor man's soaring when it comes to mana, but soaring costs you HP, and you're worried about getting bursted. So even though CK doesn't spam, he does usually create lanes like this one where you're fighting each other a lot. And generally speaking, if you're against a safe laner that can force you to fight them like PA or CK, you can't really afford soaring because
that makes sense.
You're gonna fight them a lot anyways. They bring you to them. So.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. I think you're right. That's why he did it, and that's why you should do it. I would have just stuck to the item build, and maybe I would open with chainmail instead of soul ring. Here's how I usually do Dawn, and my win rate is not fantastic, so don't copy me, guys. I open soul ring, I buy heal salves, and I spam all ins on the enemy carry, and then I try to go back with heal salve.
I think that's good about. I'll be honest with you. I think that's good about 40% of the time. Like I think that build's like the correct. Like I would go that exact build like 40% of games.
40%, okay. And because I don't, like I'm not.
Number, but yeah.
I'm not even nearly a specialist at her. Therefore, I just do it all the time. I don't know when to do it and when not to do it. But now that you say it, it makes sense not to do it.
When you're learning a hero, I think just building the same items that like on paper are like the most common build is the best way to learn the hero, because then you understand that this is the way I view it is this is the ideal way this hero wants to play. But against heroes like CK that I mentioned are like these off-lane griefers, like I'm pretty much always going to die at least once like this, and my job is to get out of the lane, not to get to play my hero the way I want. That's when you have to make adjustments. So that's why he made adjustments. I think the more countered you are, the more adjustments you'll make with your items. So.
Yeah, yesterday I saw someone lane against Bristleback with Kunkka, and he got chainmail before boots, after bracer. So it was bracers into chainmail, and that helped him a lot against the bristles.
Yeah, definitely. Kunkka's like 3 armor or something, so it's probably double armor when he finishes that.
Yeah.
And the thing that's not bad about Dawn against CK specifically is any hero that can cut creep waves or clear them from a distance is generally pretty good against CK, because like you see here, he can't even walk up. This is pretty common against CK.
Yeah.
So he tries to snipe a creep, and then once he gets level 3 hammer, he can probably start cutting. Shots range creeps. And
he walks up now to CK, he loses 500 health, right?
Yeah, the thing about CK is he forces you to fight him, and then he has crit lifesteal, so he doesn't lose the HP and you do. So.
Yeah.
You just don't win trades against CK. You just don't. So you either force him to be so low he can't fight you, which is only early levels. Once he gets more points in crit, that's just not possible anymore. Notice how everything he's doing is just like, keep the lane near my tower. If lane's not near my tower, I pull. I don't even care if I give this CK a big camp. I just want the lane near my tower.
Wow, he actually he gave away the flag bearer creep just to support his wisdom rune contest.
Yeah, I was gonna say that if he didn't do that, I think the Phoenix knew he was coming, so that's why he gave up on the rune. But I think the Phoenix could have gone for the rune and then died if he had not turned around. So it's tough to give up that flag bearer, though.
Oh, I gave it up a lot yesterday, and I didn't need any help for it. I'm like allergic to flag bearer creeps recently.
It's the pressure, man. It's like this creep's worth twice as much as the normal ones.
Yeah, it is. It is a pressure, and that's gold only, right? It doesn't give more XP, does it?
Yeah, it's just gold. Yeah.
It's just gold. So if you had to choose between flag and ranged, what would you choose?
I definitely choose the flag. Yeah.
Flag.
Are you assuming the other one gets denied? Is that like what you're asking?
Yeah, like you miss it yourself. Let's say you have no spells.
Yeah, I'd probably prefer the flag.
Denied.
Especially if my support's there, because he knows I missed it.
Yeah.
He's not looking with his ulti. They've got the Muerta W, which is going to keep noticed in place here.
Okay. Slightly above the enemy hero to make sure to be able to cut him off. Immediately TP's back.
That's the best part about Dawn. Usually on off lane, if you see your lane pushing into your tower, you'll never rotate. It's like the worst feeling in the world, but because he's Dawn. Because you're just going to miss creeps, basically.
But isn't it okay to miss creeps if you save your carry? No?
I'm saying he would, but you don't want to. Like,
oh,
okay. It sucks. Like, you'd really prefer not to. So I'm just saying, like, if I'm like an offlaner that had to TP there and like ravage him or something, it would just feel really bad to do that. You'd still probably do it, but you'd have to be like, hey, support, come take lane or whatever. But the fact that Dawn can do that and then still get that extra creep wave, it's a huge part of her kit. And it's funny because all CK did was stun him there and like hit him twice, and he lost like 500 health.
Yeah.
That's so depressing to watch.
And then he got a soul ring and a clarity, so that doesn't help him at all. So he needs to play safe for a while. And he's not going to ult anyway because he doesn't have it. He's not going to TP because he doesn't have it. I'm actually surprised he chose Arcane Ring. Even more mana.
Yeah, it might be for the armor too. That 2 armor might be worth it. He's against TA as well as CK.
Would you have taken Seeds of Serenity if it had been offered?
I would have taken Seeds, yeah. I would have taken it. Because whenever I have Soaring, I'm definitely more inclined to take Seeds.
Yes.
I think Seeds is really underrated.
Yeah, I agree.
That buff to it was like really insane. The 4 HP regen. Flat.
Not a bad net worth. He's gonna net out about 4k at minute 10, roughly. Muerta had a very good game, so we can see Dawn got no help because teams have decided it's not worth the help against CK because he's quite a strong laner.
Yeah, I will reiterate again. If I have any game against CK, I am super happy as an offlaner. Right. But it looks like he might have managed to bait. He can maybe TP home and ult back in. Or maybe he doesn't have to at all.
Boom. Nice.
Oh, they got nice. I mean, the fact that he lives here, it's like, I can tell you as a CK player recently, like, these deaths are horrible for you. So, a little overzealous there. In my experience as CK, if I just make the other guy low, I feel pretty good about myself. Because like, you can do that so... He did it so cheaply, right? He chased him for like 5 seconds, hit him twice, and then the collapse just has no HP. So
and then he overdid it.
Yeah, the overextension is the problem, but I think that first move, if he just goes back and farms, is like pretty damn good.
It's something I tried to teach myself and others during my Warcraft 3 tenure. That and even HOTS, you don't need to kill players. If you're on the map and they're running home and healing and licking their wounds, that's enough of a win. They are not active, you are, you're farming, they're not. And now the worst thing you can do is to throw away your very healthy, productive life for some low life that's running and licking his wounds.
Damn, those are some harsh words, but yeah. No,
I mean, if you remove the metaphor, yes, but still true.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, at the end of the day, if you're full HP and the other guy's 200 HP, his life is worth way less than yours, for sure.
Yes.
Regardless of roles, so... it's like you say his life. I view it as like map impact. That's like the exact wording I would use. Is like your map impact is non-existent. You're useless. Yeah. You're licking your wounds. You're running back to base. If he just let him go, Collapse would have to TP base and maybe look to ult. He has nothing else to do with his time. But suddenly, you know, the lead goes from VP to Team Spirit here, and Collapse being. This is a weird play by him because my initial thought is, why is a Phoenix?
You dropped for a sec and you said, why is a Phoenix?
Yeah, I said, why is... my initial thought is like, why is this Phoenix running at me? Like, this guy isn't ganking me himself, right? Like, whenever a support confidently runs at you, it's like, huh.
I'm glad you were thinking that, because I wasn't. And I was as surprised as Collapse by the collapse.
No, the second that I see a support running at me like that, I'm like, I guess I'm dead.
like, because I'm like, they know something I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, at least like, you know, unless it's the. I think I saw in you. I watched a bit of that Muerta game you quoted yesterday, and you had that Pudge running at you, and you're like, no way, that's real. And it was. I saw that moment. I'm like, I would definitely think the same thing of like, that can't possibly be Pudge. That just has to be an illusion rune.
And it was real. He showed up like 40 seconds early for a wisdom rune or something.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't think it could be real, because it wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
But one thing I tried to teach myself as well is like the concept of it's okay to be wrong against a weak play, aka overestimating the Phoenix. Let's say you go back because you don't think a rational Phoenix would do that. So you go back, but you were wrong. It was a weak play. He was just feeding, and you didn't take the opportunity. It's kind of okay because weak players make weak plays. So if you're wrong, you'll probably still be okay. But now consider the alternative. You're wrong against the strong play. He's baiting you to go on him, and you're gonna die. Well, now you're getting punished in a bigger way, and it's worse. So always assume the strong play. On average, being wrong against the weak play, you'll still win. But if you're constantly wrong against the strong play, you lose.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. I agree on all fronts.
What a nice combo, Tusk Muerta.
Yeah. I will say that Tusk has felt really hard to play against in my pubs. Like, I've seen it. It's getting picked a decent amount at TI, and then obviously, like you mentioned, people are picking offlane Spearbreaker at TI, so you're seeing a bunch of it. I'm now seeing way more Tusk in my pubs, and I will say tag team's always been one of the best spells against really tanky guys, because most of the time when people have high HP, they have low armor, and then tag team just makes your entire team hit for 100 extra, and that's like a shit ton of damage for a spell. You know, you don't have to buy an item for it, so it comes pretty early. So it makes a lot of sense. People are doing this max tag team build. For a while, we saw Tusk mid with like the 4-4-0 build.
Yep. But
now we're seeing Tusk support. He's got a 2-1-4 build. It makes a lot of sense with the meta. I feel like whenever tank meta comes out, I love it. When you see Zoo metas, you see heroes like Wyvern and Phoenix and stuff that counters Zoo, and then when you see tank metas, you see AA, you see Tusk, you see like certain heroes have like things they're good against. So
that's funny because I thought Tusk was good against squishies because of the punch, but that's the second time.
That's core Tusk. That's core Tusk.
This is the second time I've heard the tag team counters tanky heroes. The first time was last week at the mansion.
Who mentioned it?
I don't remember.
This matters
but,
a lot.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter though.
Just fucking around, yeah. No, it's like I played against, like whenever I'm a strength offlaner throughout the history of Dota, if I'm against Tusk, I'm always terrified because he's one of the few heroes that in a support role that provides enough damage when you have like 1200 HP, like Bracer Wand phase, that he actually provides enough damage to kill you. So it's very annoying. I like the way that Collapse is playing. This is like pretty standard Dawn. Take the most dangerous farm on the map. The hammer, in theory, very nice against the likes of CK, because against killing carries, it's hard to show on the map with a lot of heroes. So you can clear waves from afar, and then you can still help your team. I'll have to keep this in mind. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that Dawn being pretty good in theory against CK, because
because he's non-committal to the wave position itself when farming it.
Yeah, and then since CK is also a hard committal hero when he goes on people, your ult is also in theory good against him. So he can't really kill you, and then it makes it hard for CK to find other target. So cool.
You also answered a question from my chat from Riolene that said, "Can you explain why they swapped the lane? Dawn with her ult wants to be on the far lane and the more dangerous lane in theory."
Yeah, she wants to be alone, as far away from her team as possible, because she can connect, and then also we mentioned the hammer being able to clear waves. That's why I view Dawn as like a better Spectre in the sense of like the global hero, because you can also clear waves super fast. Obviously, Spectre scales better, but
she does she clears the side lane faster. She shows a little bit less long on the wave, so it's safer. And anyway, Muerta didn't want to stay there, and when Dawn started going bot, tower was still alive, so she wanted to provide like a token resistance, so it cannot be taken for free by one lowly support. So that's why Muerta swaps away to Ancient rotation, and Dawn takes the bit more risky lane. Even though he ended up dying for it, it's better it happens to Dawn than to Muerta.
The thing about map distribution in these type of scenarios is you want the strongest guy in front, no matter what. Like whenever you place heroes on the map, you want to think like, where's the opponent going to come from? You want our strongest hero in the most likely place to be. So earlier in the game, when Team Spirit was 4 top, you know, VP's farming bottom, so it makes sense to put Dawn bottom. But now they forced to fight top, so VP's most likely top, which means you want Dawn to be in front, top. But like if Dawn had ulti, you'd rather her be bottom with like maybe Puck in front, with like the Dawn ulti ready to save, because that makes Puck stronger in theory if Dawn can save her. But this is a case where I actually like the way Team Spirit was distributing the map there, because they had the Grim to back up the Dawn, but VP made a really nice smoke move and brought 4 heroes when you'd usually only expect 2 or 3, and suddenly it's enough to kill them both. So overall, very good moves from VP there. But it makes sense why Team Spirit's doing what they're doing.
Now you instantly feel this Ancient must be warded.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably that cliff. The upper cliff. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the Team Spirit supports. Yep, sentries it.
There it is. That's how Muerta could die so rapidly. But he didn't, though. That was an amazing save.
Yeah, the Dawn ulti is just so crucial in the fact that they don't have really any follow-up magic damage once the like the Invoker wasn't really in position and the Phoenix had already egged, so Yatra was like 400 HP, and yeah, he's taking some AoE, but it's just not enough to bring him down. So
yeah. How much does it heal? How many?
I think it's like 120 per tick or something.
It's 45 per pulse, but I don't know how many pulses.
I've looked this up. It's so confusing. I think it's like a total...
Pulse interval 0.5, flight duration 1.7. So it's something like...
Pulse interval 0.5, so it's 90 per second then. Yeah, 90 per second, and then it's 3 seconds.
3 seconds?
Yeah, I'll check this. But
flight duration, horrible. Flight time.
It's a horrible tooltip.
Yeah. What do you make of Desolator here?
I'll answer your question in 2 seconds. I'm looking at this. Looking at the spell. Okay, so level 1, it heals 225, then 350, then 475.
So you may have kept Muerta alive with it.
Yeah,
plus the stun. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so you said the Desolator.
And Orb.
I was never a huge fan of Deso on Dawn. I always felt like it was kind of a bait, but I also think he can't really be tanky this game because they just have TA Melt Strike and CK, like they just have so much damage. So
you think no matter how much he tanks, he can't stay alive?
Yeah, I think against CKTA, it's kind of like a myth to tank things.
So you might as well just try to kill.
Yeah, he's trying to like have as much impact in a short amount of time as possible. And right now, like I view Blade Mail similarly to BKB in the sense that you're gonna have like a small window to have them be fearful of you, and rather than it being magic immunity, it's you know, Blade Mail. So I think he wants to have the Blade Mail into Shard, and then his Shard gives him a bit of magic immunity, and he wants to do as much damage as possible. Also, I did experience, I played CK against Dawn, and my ulti was on her, and she Q'd, and life stole like 100% of her HP with a Deso, so maybe that's also why. So maybe Dawn can tank CK just because of that. Keep an eye out for that.
Tanking through damage, that's true actually. She does do that a bit.
Yeah, we'll see if that plays out. But once again, Team Spirit down by like 3k, sizable disadvantage I'd say. The TA has Deso, the CK has like the Mage Slayer Bloodthorn build. That's pretty standard, I'd say. In my experience right now, CK has to go Bloodthorn. I don't think he scales with like any other item, has been my experience.
You mean always?
Yeah, I've concluded thus far, you know, obviously always down to be wrong and learn from a situation where it would not be the case, but...
Did you conclude this from your own experience or watching games?
I lost a bunch of games on CK. I lost like my first 4 games, and then I watched a few other CKs who carried me, and they all built Bloodthorns. I was like, oh, must be what I'm missing. And then
so that means that you've concluded it from evidence, but you're not necessarily sure of the reason build-up yet.
Yeah, I guess so. It's more like I feel it, but I don't know why it feels that way. If that makes sense. Like it's like the 60% burn damage from Bloodthorn is really broken on CK specifically because he can do so much damage in 5 seconds.
Is it 60? I thought it was 30.
Yeah.
Oh, it becomes...
Yeah, they buffed it. They buffed it because it used to be a guaranteed crit, but no longer guaranteed crit. But now it bursts a lot more. Let's see. Oh, I was actually only on Muerta's perspective. So
by understanding the reason, right? Anyone can read Bloodthorn and read what it does and then come up with a reason. But that still doesn't explain why the alternative items might not be okay too. Like, if we first divulge the reason through results from ourselves and others, we still don't truly get it. Even if we then make a passionate case for explaining what it does by reading the item and how that synergizes with its kit. Because you could have done that before seeing the results, and you still wouldn't know if you were right or not.
Yeah, it's true. I think the combination of the attack speed, the mana regen that this hero desperately needs, like if you compare any other mana regen item to CK needing, he doesn't really need Harpoon because he has Reality Rift. He doesn't really want a Lincoln Sphere. Scotty, same idea. He already has Reality Rift and a stun. So I guess like I have thought about this a lot, but you're absolutely right about the fact that I can easily conclude why it's good just by looking at the item. That's absolutely true. That's like that's a really good point. And it's just it's funny because there's so many things in Dota where once it feels really good, like half the time my explanation is just try it. Like you'll see what I mean. Just maybe try it.
Maybe that's like the realest answer you actually can have, right? Because like I said, anyone can read the item and say why it works. But the realist is the results, beyond the point of being able to explain it. But just, I've played with it over and over, and I don't feel tanky enough without. And I've played with it over and over, I don't feel like I'm doing enough damage without. Right? And then, like, I've tried both, and this just constantly ends up working out better. That's actually kind of the realist explanation.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. I appreciate the call out, because you're right on that initial assessment. Okay, so they tried to go for smoke. I'm actually interested that Collapse was in this play. Because he has ulti, right? But what that means for me 100% as a Dawn, because I've had this decision, is he values his Blink Burst more than his ulti. So whenever you go this build, he thinks he has to be there the second the kill happens, right? He wants that kill to be like a instant burst on whoever it is. And since they have like Centaur CK, they're pretty freaking tanky as well, so he probably thinks he needs all 5 heroes.
So to create a to build on your point, to create a reproducible rhetoric for joining the team, it's if you need if you need to be there 2 seconds earlier to burst someone.
Yeah, exactly. I do think that this is the Dawn build I've seen people go in what I call like not so ideal Dawn games, because it's like I think the ideal Dawn game is you're just running in, you know, and you can just do whatever you want in the fight. Like, nobody can really touch you. But when they have a ton of bursts like this, I feel like this is the best way to build. And I saw, like, Saberlight do something similar. And this actually answered my question on Dawn when I was losing Dawn games. I didn't know this build. And I realized, like, it's odd enough it's a damage build, but you do it when it's not the best Dawn game, in my experience.
So you play for advantaged fights. 5v3s, 5v1s, 3v1s, burst someone. Because in the ideal Dawn game, you can man up in a 5-on-5, you can join with ulti, and then continue to stay alive and heal.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense. So this would then make Team Spirit not happy, because they are having a fight, a 5-on-5. He hasn't even ulted yet. Actually, this fight goes quite well.
Yeah, that, the fact that Yatra had his ulti somehow at the end of that fight is pretty crazy. What I think is so interesting about this fight is that he actually threw himself in there on Collapse, willingly took a bunch of damage, and then held his ulti till like the very end for Yatra. That's such a...
Do you want to watch it again?
Yeah, I'm down to watch whatever the frick happened there.
1, 2, 3, 4 times 10, 5 times
Okay, I
10.
did that too. I did 4 times 10.
Okay, I'm at 6 times 10 back. So
Okay.
the stampede just happened.
Okay, yeah, I'm there.
I'm gonna watch from Huerta's perspective now.
Yeah, good idea. So he just has BKB this whole time. He hasn't used anything. Still BKB, still ulti.
Yeah, he walks up, he has the confidence of his abilities, he goes stand central place, and then he BKBs, still doesn't ult.
Barely kills the wow.
Wow.
That was such insane patience from him. Holy moly.
And then he ulted against a still BKB'd Chaos Knight because he needed to stay alive with his 10% life.
Can you not hit egg if you're ulted?
Yeah, you can.
You can't hit.
You can.
You can't hit buildings.
You can still hit egg. You can't hit buildings,
Okay.
but you can hit egg.
Okay, okay. I was
It's
like,
treated
maybe
the
he
same.
had to do that, but or it's just insane limit pushing. Wow,
Yeah.
that was insane limit pushing then. That's
Actually,
crazy.
if he ulted there, then he would lose attack time.
Yeah, he would be losing. Like he would have died because the vulnerability against CK. He would have 100% died later. Yeah. Because he's using his extra damage to hit an egg when he doesn't actually need the extra damage. He just
That's
needs to
true.
attack. Yeah. I mean.
But also like the time of transformation, right?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I don't know how
That
many
actually might
attacks.
have. It's 0.35, but it was really close, so that might have been the difference maker. You might be right there.
Yeah, what's his attack speed? Let's see. Attack speed once every 0.46 seconds. So it would have eaten 8/10 of an attack if he had transformed. So let's say it's either 0 attacks missed or 1 attack missed.
Yeah, I mean that egg was really close to going off, so I actually think that might have made the difference.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Defiant Shell. I find Defiant Shell one of my favorite and most hated items at the same time because it can proc your Starbreaker by accident.
Well, it's not that bad if. Oh wait, you can. What do you mean proc your Starbreaker?
Like if someone hits you, you will hit back with your Starbreaker crit.
Oh, the luminosity. Sorry, I just.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Luminosity, yes.
But you have the talent, so now, now since the talent's only 3, the Starbreaker will guaranteed proc, right?
Okay, yeah. Starbreaker always procs with Luminosity
talent.
now, but
Yeah.
you could still lose
before
one.
that.
Yeah, before that it's bad, but even now you could still lose one crucial Luminosity crit on something else you wanted. Let's say you go for like a crit on 80% health flag bearer, but there's some other Cobalt that hits you and you crit it instead.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not a huge deal usually. Changed their
Definitely a
mind.
little bit of a nuisance, though, yeah, on a hero that has a charge-based. Anything with charge-based like Slaughter.
Yeah. Though one time a blurred PA jumped on me and I did a hit on a blurred PA with Slardar with Defiant and he died.
I think I saw that clip. It was on Reddit, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Are scanning.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite's when Faceless Void Chronos Darkseer, and Darkseer has the Ags, and then Darkseer just punches him. It's like, what?
That's
That-
nice.
That happened to me once. I was like, well, that sucks. I have to BKB to hit the fucking Darkseer.
Well, this just shows we should always click enemy heroes for their neutrals, and I bet you we often don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
27 minute, 28, 29, start checking for Defiant Shell.
Yeah, I always check for Trickster Cloak. That's like the one I definitely check for.
Dire's
But-
bottom tower.
And Mirror
Trickster Cloak
Shield.
and Ninja Gear. Oh, yeah. I don't really have 60 minute. I think I've had like 2 60-minute games in a year. To be
Yeah,
honest.
I think I have a lot more.
I mean, is it the same in all the other games you've played that the lower MMR leads to longer games on average because people have a difficult time?
Yeah,
closing the
I
game
think
out?
so. I think
Yeah,
so.
'cause that's definitely the case in Dota.
Is under
So.
Yeah.
attack. Radiant's
Have you
middle tower
noticed your
is
game's
under
getting
attack.
shorter as you've
Yes.
been climbing?
Yes. In
that's cool.
in Herald Guardian Legend Crusader, I don't even know which one comes first anymore. It seems so long ago. But
just a different life. Yeah.
in all of those, it was so common to constantly be over 1 hour. And even though I was bad and unknowledgeable, I still knew that I was bad and unknowledgeable, and therefore we couldn't end. Now it is not super uncommon to have 35-minute games anymore, and yeah, that really wasn't happening much back then.
I'll say that I noticed a stark difference between like a 10k average game and like an 8k average game
Really?
in regards to the reliability to end the game. Yeah, like
Wow.
like I've played support for like the rank 10 guys, and then I sometimes get stuck playing support for like the rank 1000 guys.
Oh shit.
And the only conclusion I've come to is if I'm playing support in the rank 1000 games, I'm gonna scale. Like,
Really?
I'm like,
Really?
I'm gonna scale. Yeah, like yesterday I played Jakiro and I was like, I won my lane. You know, I had mana boots and it's like 14 minutes into the game and I'm like, I'm queuing up the Midas, boys. and then like nothing, you know, I was still supporting, you know, I bought like the wards and the smokes and like, you know, 4 staff and all that kind of stuff afterwards. But like, it was just this random fight like 40 minutes in where my cores just do something really weird and it naturally just delays the game by an extra 15 minutes. And I'm like, yep, that's the Midas. That's why I have the Midas.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to say I don't trust you guys, but I don't.
I actually had major trust issues after watching TI, because like last weekend was the most intense that I ever watched a pro game. And then I saw how they play the game, so aka how it is meant to be played. And that led me to believe that I suck and my teammates suck, but I'm still the main character in my life, so I figured I learned from those games. But then I started like not playing with my team at all because I was so aware how bad they suck. So I played the most egotistical play ever after coming back from watching TI, and I was just losing everything. Then I realized, hey, I still have to work with my team.
I respect that. I respect the awareness and the acknowledgement of like, I let the ego get the best of me. I respect that. Yeah.
I definitely did.
You gotta own up to the ego sometimes. It's very easy to do the main character thing, and I think the fact that people do it is natural, but the fact that they're completely unaware of it is the problem.
Yeah, that's usually the problem. Like, I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, but you're trying to improve. That's the important thing, right? Like, not to get stuck in one way of thinking.
Yeah, you said the other day, the guy that like, he talks to us like he's better than us and we're all the same MMR. It's like how delusional
Oh, you were
be.
watching that? Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say I probably watch like one of your games per night because I'm kind of like, I'll get off and, you know, you stream for like 6 or 7 hours. I usually watch maybe 2 hours of Dota.
Oh, yeah. So. Yeah, I watch your games during lunch. And I heard your stream schedule change for the weekends and the reasons behind it.
Yeah, I'm...
Second time he's stuck.
He's Artesiaing himself, actually. The first time, I was wondering why he waited because he had soaring, but I was like, maybe he thinks he's going to get ganked or something, you know?
Yeah, I wondered why he was waiting
okay
too.
With his blink. This time around, he's like, no, I got to get out.
Now he had no cooldown, but at the Tormentor, he was waiting.
Okay, so that we're seeing I think the build on him also makes sense against Phoenix because you just have to kill Phoenix like full to 0, otherwise it doesn't work. Okay, is he gonna get him here? He's got the buff. No, the TA trap.
Yep. See, he goes in with BKB.
Wow. Yeah, that's the showing like he needs to do all of his damage in the first second. So now he can actually TP home.
Oh,
He has ult. So this is kind of cool. How's this going to play out?
He even drank a quick clarity and heal solve. 150 gold just so that he can join the fight. Didn't end up becoming necessary, but he did the due diligence so that he could do it, which is super interesting to learn from.
Yeah, it's just cost benefit analysis, right? It's like 150 gold is so little compared to the possibility of being late to the fight and not being full HP.
Yep. Even the 25% chance to save one teammate is worth the 150 gold when you count the gold that it saves.
Yeah, it's like I've had my viewers comment when I'm Kunkka and I X myself back to base late game and I just buy 3 mangoes, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, the X is not long enough to get full mana like when you're 0, right? So I'm like, this is 200 gold for full mana.
I'm greedy. I usually do 1 mango, 1 clarity if I need it.
Ah, yes. Gotta save that 15, 20 gold or whatever.
Even though you can get 300 gold in 1 second with one single WF.
It's crazy how our mind works, right? It's like, you know, you think about the 20 gold when, like you said, like early game 20 gold, that's a lot, but late game 300 gold with 1 W, yeah.
The shade of a dream come true.
He's looking, he's chasing on the map.
Yeah, it's a very good game for them. And we can see how his short BKB Blink Dezo is working out. Because I've seen your Dawn meta update video where you coached in a YouTube video for Dawn maybe 1.5 months back. Yeah. I think you tried to explain the difference between the Blink Dezo game and the Echo Saber game.
I remember talking about that, yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't seen I've not analyzed the pro game like this since that video, and now we see that Blink Dezo. We hear the reasons a bit behind it from you. And we see how it's working out, where he is able, like he started the fight at the mid tower full HP, and then he just full all-in kills, almost died, despite using BKB before even going in. Because the way I would have done it is I go in with W, and then I Q, and I rely on the Q magic immunity initially to carry it, then I use BKB. Right? Because I'm like, I don't want to have my BKB and my Q shard overlap, because there's no double magic immunity. But if he had done that, he would probably be dead or interrupted at some point.
Yeah, BKB works so differently now. In the past, like Dawnbreaker, the reason why I think this build's not ideal in the sense that you don't want to go it, you go it because the other build won't work, is because it's not like it's a bad build, I'm saying, but like I always view builds as like, this is the way the hero would build perfect. Like if it felt like the perfect game for this hero, they'd build this way. But like with the shard on Dawn in the past, you could like disjoint CK stun, for instance. Like he throws the stun at you and you use the shard and you just dodge the stun.
Yeah.
But now after you come out of the shard, you're stunned for 2 seconds, you know?
Oh, right. So, yeah. So it's a lot worse. That's true. Yeah. They can do anything they want against you still. The only thing shard does now is to protect the stun to complete.
Yeah, it makes sure you finish the Q, and that's it. Yeah, exactly.
No, interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So, yeah, I think it's best not to be grubby efficient with preventing BKB and shard overlap.
Yeah, I was playing Lifestealer earlier, and I had to buy BKB, and like I was not risking it because they had like multiple hexes, and I'm like, if I even leave that 0.1 seconds between Rage and BKB, I'll just get hexed, you know?
Yeah.
And they were casting the hexes on me, like, and Bloodthorns and stuff like this preemptively, so.
Oh, yeah.
It's good in the sense that people can cast stuff on that like that on you and waste it, you know?
Right.
That's actually good as long as you don't let it hit you.
Yeah, one little advantage in how it can work out against them.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, BKB is much more of a preemptive item nowadays. It's not nearly as good reactively as it used to be. I think that's why I really like the nerf to it overall, is because now it's like if you start the fight, BKB is the same item, but in the past it's like it would help you turn the fight as well. And it doesn't really feel like that anymore.
Why not?
It just feels like if you get really low, unless you're a hero like Muerta with ulti, like if you BKB, you can just still die to like.
Oh, because of the
like,
damage taken still.
Yeah, like Invoker Meteor and stuff like that. You know, you can just die to it. But if you jump them with BKB on, they're never gonna push you away through that magic resistance.
Yeah. It feels kind of fun that, you know, magic isn't entirely nullified by BKB. Like, as a magic user, it's nice that you know you're not doing a lot, but it's nice to still do a bit of damage.
Especially heroes like Jakiro that are historically absolutely useless against BKB. Like, now your dual breath and your ulti. I mean, it's not like you said. It's reduced by 50%, but 50% of a lot is still way more than 0.
Yeah.
So.
The first time I learned how much 50% of a lot is when Muerta was new and we were playing her and people get BKB and they turn it on and they still freaking melt.
Yeah, 50% of a lot, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so I love when Muerta's ulti for Roche, because it just dies instantly. That means Team Spirit probably doesn't want to fight. I'm curious.
It's such a short cooldown.
Yeah, they just got to be cautious. They're going to sit back. Did he just destroy the something?
I think he dropped a branch or something, bro. I saw him destroy something. I don't know what, but it must have been some undesirable item he didn't feel like putting in the APM to sell.
Oh, no, okay. He was handing off the Ags while attacking a TA trap.
So okay.
It looked like he was dropping an item and breaking it, but it was actually just the same time.
Yeah, I took a quick look at did he deny Aegis? No.
Yeah. I was checking everything because he didn't have the Ags anymore. I thought he actually hit the Ags, but he handed it to Tusk.
Holy shit! He has Daedalus, Mjolnir, and Edge.
Yeah. He's all like. This is the same thought as Dawn, right? Like the fight has to end in like 3 seconds. Like they're both on the exact same page about the duration of these.
No refresher instead of Daedalus.
Yeah, see, like the refresher means you think the fights are gonna last 2 ultis worth. When you know these are all saying this is gonna be a 4-second fight or whatever. Oh, they're fighting. Oh, collapse! Really good positioning. VP was smoked up there. Go targeting him instead makes sense because he's like the global save. I'm
gonna rewatch that. Oh yeah, damn, nice blink.
And he was ready for it too. That was impressive.
Yep.
Dire's bottom tower
He may have done the self-click blink. Because he went right in the direction of home. Or maybe he's just a quick
Selling
caster.
blade mill for okay, he sold it for Basher. Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a double click blink or if that was just like a quick click back.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll tell you, Dawn players out there, your one job at this stage of the game is to not get picked off. That is like, that is your only purpose in life. Because usually people will try to focus you since you're Dawn, and you can save everybody else. So kudos to Blast, it's pretty good. Okay, here we go. He's ulting in.
Wow, he's just on the way out immediately. Still nearly died.
He's doing a really good job of like leaving fights with like 500 HP.
He does not have a lot of armor into TACK.
He's got AC, but
it's not a lot. Wait.
Oh, he didn't quite finish the Phoenix disaster.
How come he's 30 now? Just now he had 43 minus 5. Oh, it's everything TA did to him.
Yeah.
Melt Strike.
Melt Strike, Deso, and then Reality Rift. It's all just so much armor.
Dude, they got smoked.
They did. Muerta still has Aegis.
Yeah, he's gonna die twice.
Does he have BKB?
He put it in too late.
He has BKB in backpack. He has BKB in backpack.
Yeah, he should have added it to another item. But he's gonna kill 2 and then TP?
I was gonna say, can he TP or no? I'm surprised he didn't TP. Do they have a Basher? Why is he not TP?
Yikes.
Do they have Meld Bash?
Well, he could have BKB TP'd.
He could have TP'd there, yeah.
I just want to say it's what BSJ and I would have done. Yatoro stayed and died, but you know, what can you do?
I have no proof I would have done it, but I know you would have done it because you literally said it in the middle of the place.
I would have done it if I had been watching it third person.
Of course. I mean, so I would have done it perfectly as well, so it's fine. You know, Yatoro, he's not very good. That's my favorite kind of Twitch chatter. It's so obvious you should have done that. Well, sorry, I was focused on the other 60 things going on in the game. Sorry.
Yeah. Predictions were all wrong for me. Smoke gang kills, you were right. It was 0. Ancient camps was even less than I thought. 0 to 5. It was 5. You still there?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Sorry, I thought I unmuted my mic. I muted. I said I way overshot the ancient camps. I was 11 through 15, and then I didn't actually realize it was highest total magic or pure at 10 minutes. I actually didn't notice that part. So I mean, I would have not guessed TA. I guess Sideblades is how he did it, but
Sideblades. Oh yeah, pure. Yeah, that makes sense.
I would have never guessed TA, but there we go.
Now we know. So they ran in with the Aegis. Dawn went in, tried to burst, from what I remember, CK, but couldn't get him, and then ran out.
He disengaged, cheesed.
Yeah, the whole fight started with Tusk dying on the high ground, which Dawn actually used ult for to save, and that didn't work out, so that was kind of scuffed already. Either hold ult for longer, or maybe Tusk don't die on the high ground.
I imagine he was trying to Ags kick somebody out of base, so theoretically, giving him the Ags actually griefed the fight, because he would have never gone for that if if he didn't have the Ags.
That's some excellent scientific reasoning.
Yes, I will say that like sometimes when a hero's meant to be a save, and then you get an item like Ags on Tusk, and suddenly your hero has 2 purposes, it actually makes it way harder to execute sometimes. I'm not saying it is actually bad for him to take the Ags, but that might be a reminder to him to be like, I know I have Ags, and that might pay off, but I should just focus on being a save.
Yeah. And then Dawn should have had the Ags.
True. That's a better save.
Was he at the Rose Pit when they took it? I think he was.
Yeah, he was.
So he could have taken it. It was a choice by them.
I think they thought it would help them go high ground the most because of the kick, but then it backfired a bit.
Yeah. Someone said Puck dove to tier 4. I don't remember that.
If Puck dives and lives, then it's not like a Puck problem. Meaning, like, Puck is one of those heroes that you never want to jeopardize your own positioning because of whatever Puck does.
Right.
Because Puck can just get out of, like, anything.
Yeah, that's probably fair. In Pups, 90% of the time you're trying to save Puck. She didn't need help. And if he dies, it was her fault as well.
It's the same thing as Slark, by the way. I've learned that to try to pattern recognize like issues that I run into, and as Slark, whenever I pounce in, my team's like, gotta help him, like gotta follow him up.
So,
I'm like, no,
so
guys,
you
I'm
have
just
to
forcing
stop.
BKBs.
You have to stop to do it. In fact, even though you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
communicate. Do not follow me.
Yeah, it has to be preemptive in my experience. I have to say like, hey guys, I'm gonna pounce in and force BKBs. Like, worry about your own positioning. That's what I usually say. Like, you don't have to follow me. Yeah.
The interesting
if
thing
I don't
about
say that on Slark, my teammates do it.
right, yeah, I do the same. I also go in to save my Slark and Puck, and I always regret it, and I keep doing it anyway.
It's really hard to make gameplay changes based on ally heroes rather than your own. That's why I highly encourage whenever I'm coaching for people to communicate things that are based on their hero. Like, if people are not supposed to communicate, or sorry, if they're not supposed to hard commit because you're Slark, it's actually your job as Slark to say something to them.
That makes sense.
Yeah, otherwise, like, you're expecting your teammates to know how to play Slark. And at the end of the day, they usually don't.
Do you think that extends to me playing Sand King, that my support never buys Sentry? Do you think I should always ask, remember to allow me to have allow us to have Sentry control?
I would say, if I was coaching somebody, I would tell them as Sand King to advise their support to buy a Sentry. Yes.
Right.
It's like one of those things where the only reason they're buying a Sentry is because you are Sand King, and expecting them to know your hero is... It is reasonable, to be honest, that like 5k and above players know Sand King needs a Sentry, but I'll just... Purely based on evidence, people don't.
I stubbornly don't ask them, because I feel like it's condescending to a very logical, known thing, but actually that's ego as well, not to... it's like some kind of elitist expectation / ego. I'm like, I'm Sand King. Like, shouldn't you know that I have Sentry? But the funny thing is, I get more and more fed up every time my supports don't buy the Sentry, and there's a continuity in my getting agitated from one game to the next, even though they're only having one game with me. So I got frustrated over 15 Sand King games that there were 15 failures. I'm more frustrated after game 15. For them, it's game 1.
Yeah, I mean, for me, whenever I have something go wrong in my games, my #1 philosophy, this is like a really recent adaptation for me, is I just ask myself, how can I make that to my best capability not happen again? Like, what possible influence could I have on this not happening again? So half of what I've realized is just me saying something ahead of time, knowing that this has happened to me before. It probably will happen again. Yeah. But if I tell the guy to buy a Sentry and he still doesn't buy one, I feel like I did what you could. Yeah. I did what I could.
It's true. It actually feels very calming. You're actually managing your own mentality with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yesterday, I left the fight and I said, we should go back. But then I'm not too forceful about it, because if they got the judgment, if they feel the need, the urgency to keep fighting, that's their choice. Now we all know what my stance was on it. There's still a chance that they kill things and get away with it, right?
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I said what I said, and they'll know that I'm not going to be there because I can't contribute anymore. And that's actually a pretty nice way of doing it. The alternative is extreme, go back, go back, go back, go back, right? But like, in the end, you need to let people make their own choices as well.
I think if you do it too much, like you just said, the last part, the possibility that the guy knew he should stay and it was really good. Like, there's been times where I'll want to go back, and then I'm like lingering, and my teammates actually own the fight. You know, I'm like, oh shit, they won.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to let them have a chance to be excellent as well.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, agreed. I always try to communicate what I'm going to do with my hero, basically.
Right.
Or like what my hero needs. Like, I can't go in or stuff like this. And if they decide to go in, that's up to them. That's fine.
How safe is it for him to go in here? It's not, so he puts in a hammer. Oh, he blinks in, damn.
He actually thinks it is, because his team is rushing right now, so he thinks that they're top anyways. It's fine, I think.
He just saw CK Portrait.
Oh, they're not rushing.
Is it not up yet?
Oh, did he see CK Portrait? Is that why?
I saw CK Portrait, but that may have been an illusion, and actually CK is here.
Okay, so this is a really interesting sacrifice by VP.
It's on purpose, right?
It gives Roche the team spirit, like... Yeah, it's like, I say sacrifice by VP, it's like actually, like you said, it's probably a potential purpose play by...
Well, let's rewind and check the perspective of Virtus Pro, and then we'll see if they both made a sacrifice. And they did. Wow. Both teams made a sacrifice. Spirit chose to sacrifice Dawn. and Virtus chose to sacrifice Roche. They weren't sure if they could take it, and they took the free kill instead.
Yeah, I mean, they had that ward that paid off for them. That's something where... Oh, shit, we're missing a fight. Okay, we're back.
Sorry, I was... oh, yeah. Damn.
That was... I didn't actually expect a fight to break out because
Okay, I'm
Dom
gonna
was dead.
watch the fight from start. We'll be desynchronized for a bit.
I'm gonna watch it too because I missed the very breakout of it. Yeah. Team Spirit seems prepared for the fight. I don't want to comment too much because I don't know exactly what time you're at. But... Did I rewind? Wait.
I don't know where I was set, but it was too wrong.
I think maybe your volume went down a bit, by the way, because I turned you up, but you got a little bit quieter.
Oh. Oh, actually, I did accidentally turn it on. Okay, so he ended up ulting into the middle of like 3 heroes with a buyback. Collapse.
Yeah.
And he just died like immediately after. That's why I kind of said it's like a myth to tank. And he's got to be very careful whenever he goes in, because no matter what hero you are against CKTA, you will just die if you are isolated. But Yatoro remembers to BKB TP this time around. I don't know if you watched the whole fight now. I assume you're done.
No, I'm watching all kinds of moments.
Yeah, I feel like we had a lot to catch up on when we were around one time.
Shit. Okay, now I'm live again.
I just went. Wait, what the fuck? Why did I clicked live and then it took me to 16 seconds or 16 minutes. Okay.
Weird.
Okay, we got to collect ourselves here.
Yeah,
VP is suddenly going high ground.
Jeez, it could be over almost.
Okay.
Oh my god, just let it run with delay. No, we can't. Sorry, yeah, I mean, I completely messed up the timeline, guys. There was so much to watch.
Yeah, no, it's fine. The thing about this type of approach is we're watching to learn, and sometimes you miss the epic shit.
Yeah.
It just kind of happens. I remember this used to happen to me all the time. Because, like you said, you wanted to see VP's perspective, because they made a clutch decision to, like, go back to base and kill Collapse.
Well,
but...
to run into the Aegis pit post-taking, yeah, they went. Oh yeah, they went back to kill Collapse, and then they just kind of smoked out, I guess.
Yeah, to run it back again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they forced the Dawn buyback through that, but they also had the initiative, which both teams want. Like just starting the fight yourself. There's a lot of power in that because they both run burst.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you read the book Art of War?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just started reading it recently, and that was just one of the things it talks about, where like you want to take the fight on your own terms, like no matter what, you want to be the one dictating why and how it starts. And when you said that just now, I was like, the funny thing is my friend recommended it to me because he said it would apply to Dota a lot, and then I'm like, holy shit, it applies so much to Dota. Like when I'm listening. But okay, sorry, team fight.
I read it back in 2004. Did you know it was out already then?
I did know it was way before that. I couldn't tell you the exact year, but yeah. Did you know it was out before 2004? That's a good one. Okay, so we gotta kind of collect ourselves in these type of games, because like the game has been flipped down. I just say we because we're watching Team Spirit. They were ahead this entire game, like the entire last like 15-20 minutes, and suddenly like map control completely belongs to VP. They're stuck in their base. They know that VP's in the triangle. They're trying to get like any ward they can. That's like the most like budget. Can we see anything ward?
Yep. Just to inch up and get another D ward on the cliff, and they're still getting jumped despite the budget ward. But they did get
hunting
revealed.
the Invoker.
Yeah, they got the Invoker positioning thanks to the budget ward. Well, they're really eager to break out so they don't get constricted in their base.
Yeah. Oh, the kick! Oh my god, that TA melted. Holy shit.
Oh, that's fantastic. Fantastic.
Laurel has buyback.
Wow, triple buyback.
Yatoro's in trouble. Oh, the snowball to dodge!
Nice dodge on the egg. Oh, it absolutely destroyed. Holy god.
That's
Wow,
the crazy thing about this game, is that it's so one-sided either way, right? Because both teams do so much damage.
Yeah.
So like, TA just died in like 1 second there.
Yep.
Holy crap.
Poshka kicked him. And it's actually, I learned so much more watching like this, man. I would have watched that fight and not really get the perspective. Now we see the dark perspective on Radiant. Inching up a cliff they think might be warded. With the budget ward, like you said, that's not quite in range of a high ground cliff sentry. And then they just went out. Because a lot of teams, pub teams, would just hug their base. Right? They have no vision. Yeah. And they would just stay on the high ground. And it's freaking boring. And it's not very inspired. Here, they felt the need to come out immediately. And they were ready for it as well. And then when the fight broke out, yeah, they made it work. It's amazing.
Yeah, the way I view that budget ward is like they don't even feel safe to walk where that ward sees, like this like little sliver up the hill, and so they're like, I can't even go here, so I'll place a ward to see there. Like that's because otherwise they'd have to go there to place the ward that they actually want. That's usually how people come to that conclusion. So yeah, it's a really definitely a different perspective.
If they had tried to get the cliff observer ward, that person would have got jumped right then and there.
Yeah, and just died instantly. Yeah. Okay, so VP smoked up. We can see that, obviously, because we've got the viewer hack. The barracks are melting as Muerta things.
Yep. And Centaur is dead, so they're going to let Megas happen or fight without him. I think they're going to let Megas happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think nowadays... Oh!
Nope, I was wrong.
The snowball
save!
Oh my god, Yatoro living with like a sliver.
Wow.
That's GG.
That was some good Pierce the Veil value, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, that's just professional Dota in the sense that like, what I'm seeing this game as the #1 indicator of skill that came from Team Spirit is their abuse of their health pools. I feel like Collapse every fight for like the first 4 fights went in and lost like 80% of his HP and then walked away, and then just then Puck got sheeped and lost 80% of his HP and like lived, and then Yatoro loses 80% of his HP and gets snowballed, and it's just like they're soaking as much damage as humanly possible without dying, and it's just crazy. It's winning them the game despite everything else.
Is your Muerta also bald and looking like a mannequin?
No, that's probably it's some random bug that happens sometimes when you rewind the game.
Okay.
But no, my Muerta did not get cancer. She
had the Jada Pinkett Smith look. And...
the Jada Pinkett Smith.
Wow, that was really cool. The snowball save. Muerta comes out, 10% life, and with his shard and ulti, gets like another 40% life. So they kept him alive, but mostly it was the anti-burst that saved it. And they cleaned up. Interesting, because Team Spirit probably enjoyed a 10-20% advantage through much of the game. Kind of scuffed the bottom rack's high ground engagement. Didn't go quite right. Fell behind. Virtus Pro instantly bulldozed 2 sets of Raxes down. Then you had the Aegis skerfuffle, where Virtus Pro made the decision not to do a 5-on-5 contest into the Roche pit, which is definitely an interesting sacrifice. They took the guaranteed Dawn kill instead, sacrificing Aegis.
Yeah, I mean that those moments are what I love about like equally matched. I'm actually surprised. VP's like turning up for me. Like that decision to go top, kill Dawn, and then smoke back and take a fight. Like that's really high level decision making. That's when I say high level, I'm saying like that is a tier 1, you know, tier 1.5 level of team as opposed to like a tier 2, tier 3 team. Like that quick clutch decision making to make those calls. So I respect it a lot. I think like most teams do not do what Team Spirit does, where they're like, it feels like they're never dead, you know. It feels like they always give you a fight, and the fact that VP was down 14k and then made that play was really impressive. So respect to them. But overall, like, yeah, my takeaway from this game also is that Tusk is, I think, going to get prioritized even higher and higher against this meta, because so much of the meta is the tanky guys for the tag team, but also these burst heavy heroes, and we saw the snowball just absolutely like game changing spell there.
So he blinks next to the Muerta and then snowballs her to save her from burst.
This might be the new like, okay, Shadow Demon's got a 30% win rate. What else disrupts?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
But does
we got
more
Tusk
against Tarask boys.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I imagine Shadow Demon on paper seems better because he's got the Ags. He's got like he's just more of a utility support against these tanky guys. But
Maybe
if one guy's not working, I'm saying Shadow Demon did get banned, but
Both
I feel
games?
like I actually don't know.
I know he got
first
banned game
he did.
1, game 2 I don't remember.
I don't remember.
But I get what you're saying. Either you take Tusk over Shadow, or he's a good alternative. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I would be surprised if a hero with a 30% win rate continues to get banned every game.
Yeah.
I never fully understand that kind of stuff. Let's see. Maybe we'll see if he got banned game 2. Pulling up the draft. Looks like it's not quite loading.
So if Dawn had gone like Echo, Saber, BKB, AC, that would require him to frontline for his team more?
Yeah, it's more of like you're like walking into the fight and kind of like using your hammer, like you said, to get in, and you're more like distraction / tank. And in this game, he's more of like an assassin and like sudden jumps. I mean, what I love about the way people build in these type of games is that what I love about Dota, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, is that Dawn plays like this, right? What you just said. That's how Dawn likes to play. That's how she scales the best. It feels the best to play that way. But this hero can be just re-envisioned, reimagined the way it plays fights by virtue of these items. So that part about Dota for me is like, I just love it. I love it so much that a hero can change that much their identity.
And now, thanks to you, I understand why. Because I've only gone Dezo when I'm having a good game. Because I'm gonna kill him. And I'm tanky enough to do it because I'm 3 levels higher than the opponent. That's it. But like here, it feels more of a draft, not state of the game now, but just when we're both scaling, not knowing who's gonna exactly be ahead, but knowing the position I need to take in these fights.
Yeah, I think I might have mentioned it to you in one of our coaching sessions, but I think the #1 consideration for you that would always amp up your item choices late game is how long do you think the fight will take? I think that's the biggest question to ask yourself, because usually that's something that's discussed a lot in pro teams. Like I hear teams talk about these kind of things, and like you can see that, like we talked about Yatoro not going refresher, and like even Tusk going the blink ags, like the whole fight for Team Spirit, they know somebody's gonna get freaking blown up in the first 3 seconds of the fight, so they all itemized for it. Yeah.
Because I 100% would have just gone refresher. It's just the thing I'm gonna get, the 6th item, and it would lead to 12-second plus fights, right? On account of BKB being 6 times 2, and that's not how long the fight takes for the most part.
Yeah, if your team's all dead by then, you'd rather be alive for the first ulti with the Daedalus than or like with your team, right? Then you'd rather. There was one game actually I played Terrorblade. I remember this. Somebody was questioning my items. Actually, you could probably find it. Was it this game? Let me look. There was one game on TB. Man, it was an awesome game. Oh yeah, it was this game. I went. I was super far ahead, and I went MKB and Daedalus against PA. And the whole idea was, I had a Wyvern support, and I also had Dawnbreaker support. So I had a lot of. Yeah, so I had a lot of people to save me, and my only concern was that they would blow my teammates up, and I'm just like, team, where are you, So I was like, my job is to hit this PA when he blinks in. I don't care. So I just go MKB Daedalus as like a way to defend them, make sure they don't die. So it's like the same idea as...
You protect your team via excessive amounts of damage.
Yeah, exactly. It's usually something where the way I view it is the more my team protects me, the more damage I'm going to buy to protect them, generally speaking. It's like in the previous game, Yatoro went Manta Lincolns, right? If we look at his team, it was AA, Spirit Breaker, Viper, and... I mean, all I'm hearing is damage and no save. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, all those heroes don't offer him anything. But they do... Oh, Hoodwink. Yeah, so it's literally all damage and no save. So his items are Manta Lincolns. But in this game, he's got a lot more saves, so he's just got Silver Edge, Daedalus, and a Mjolnir in his inventory. So it's kind of cool. Just something to think about.
I'll take a short break. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sounds good. These games are great, though. Yeah, I'll be right back, too.
I'll turn up the mainstream volume, guys.